ProWrestlingSheet.com.
Welcome, everybody, to a brand new episode of Collider Body Slam Raw Recap. It's been a heck of a weekend. A lot of NFL playoffs, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stories breaking in the world. And NXT UK TakeOver happened over there in Blackpool, England. And I watched that my whole Sunday night as I was packing up my apartment.
Are you officially moving?
I am officially moving. I am John Rocha, joined as always by the CEO of the Pro Wrestling Sheet over there, Ryan Satin. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Where are you officially moving to?
Well,
can you say that? Is that weird?
I can say, but
your
not
address on
right.
here.
Exactly. It's 442. No, I'm joking. It's a right off. It's going to be in Beverly Hills.
Okay, great. That's enough. Yeah, great. Yeah,
I wasn't. I'm not living high on the hog. It's a two-bedroom apartment.
There are affordable places in that area. No, I know that.
I'm not pool boying it, but it's.
But you and the lady moving in together, taking that step.
Yeah, and it's been a bit. The whole month of January has been stressful as hell because it's not just packing stuff up. It's also like who's going to paint their apartment? How much is that going to cost? My landlady is sending me like this long texts every day about what I'm doing, and then ends every text with "Thanks for being so helpful with me and cooperating with me." I'm like, you're stressing me the F out.
No, that's a stressful process. I've never had to paint an apartment before. Usually, I just go with the flow.
Yeah, I got it painted just to like 8 years because I've been in that place for almost 10 years.
Oh, I forgot you said your apartment. You can get it back to the old color.
Yeah,
that makes sense now. Okay, that makes sense.
And they want me to bring it back to their new color that they have on the walls. And so they're like, we'll pay you the difference between what the color was before and the color is now. We'll pay you the difference in the paint. And I was like,
that's a headache. Oh my God, that's a headache.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
Before we get into the wrestling, how long has it been since you lived with a lady?
Well, I had an ex-girlfriend move in with me for a year and a half. At the place.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
That was 2015.
Okay, so it's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
All right. Good luck.
And my girlfriend walked in because it's a great place.
Yeah.
For a one bedroom, it's really spacious, good price. Mm-hmm. My girlfriend walked in the first time, smelled around. She's like, "Another woman's been here. I'm not gonna move in with you here." And I didn't even tell her. She could tell just by the way the apartment was laid out that another woman had been there. Respect to these ladies, man. Men don't give a shit, but women know.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Okay, well, for those of you listening to the wrestling talk and not the significant other talk, I apologize, but I didn't know all that. That's great. I love it. I'm sure you guys all enjoyed it as much as I did, though. But I am excited to talk about this, Rob, because I have noticed a lot of differing opinions about the show. Mm-hmm. Some people really liked it. Some people really hated it still.
Yeah.
And there were certain segments that were very polarizing, it seemed to me. Like some people loved them. Some people really hated them. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it has to do with Alexa Bliss and Otis are two of the main talking points, which we will get to.
Sure.
But I just, for you guys watching, I still don't know exactly how Rocha feels, but in the office, I kind of just said to him, like, hey, well, we're just briefly, what was your thought about these two things? And right when I heard his initial reaction, I was like, all right, we're going to have a good discussion today. So I'm excited about the show. We'll get into that later. What do you think right off the top of the Vince McMahon stuff?
I love, look, Vince being part of any show is exciting if you know how to book Vince on your show.
True, yes.
And Vince knows how to book himself on the show. This whole beginning.
He knows his own strength.
He does. He really does. He will have an occasional misstep, but it's rare. But with this, you had Strowman come out, start making his stuff. Corbin comes out to interrupt him, and then he chases Corbin out into the parking lot, and then he destroys the limo, or at least one of the windows in the limo.
First he throws a Singh brother.
Oh, right. He throws
Singh tossing.
The Singhs did not have a good night.
No.
Overall, not a good night for the Singhs. And then he goes out there to that limo, destroys the window. Corbin pops up from the other side and then runs off. And then strangely, Strowman, who's been chasing him the whole time, says, "You better run." I'm confused by that because
he was
coming after him.
Confused by that.
But it was worth it just to have Vince pop up off frame, onto frame on the side there and be like, what the? He didn't say a word. He just looked around.
I did think it was a weird to put a commercial break right there.
Yeah, that was strange.
I didn't quite understand because as I understand we're watching a TV show, but when you're watching wrestling or WWE specifically, like you're supposed to be suspending your disbelief, right? So we're supposed to be thinking that this is in real time. Like even when you're at a show, like and the wrestler walks out to the ring, they keep playing their music during the commercial.
They do,
or they'll turn it off and then they bring it right back on. But like they still kind of play into the crowd.
Yeah.
So I just thought in my head like, we're supposed to believe that Vince McMahon and Braun just stood there staring at each other for that or whatever. Like then he came back. Or it was confusing to me. But I did like the segment as a whole. I agree with you on the Corbin thing. I was like, wait, but you got there to him. You found him. Yeah. Why did you destroy the car when you found him?
As soon as he's running away, throw the pipe at him. Hit him in the back of the head.
Just toss it at him.
That just makes the most sense. Are you an animal? Are you a beast or not a beast?
I love the inconsistency sometimes in WWE's finding process. Sometimes it'll be $500, like when Brock beat up Randy Orton at SummerSlam or whatever.
Right.
Or sometimes it'll be $100,000 fine for a limousine that is clearly not worth $100,000.
No.
That's like a really expensive car.
It's one door.
It's one door.
You can replace one door for less than $100,000.
Well, he also fucked it. But the mirror's part of the door.
Mirror's part of the door.
But the side mirror is expensive.
The side mirror is like $200.
It's a little more expensive. I've learned from experience
fair.
that the wiring sometimes because of the mirrors now doing like that
right.
costs a little more.
Okay.
I know from when I was in high school, I had a hanging side mirror for a long time on my Jeep because I was not trying to pay for that. But I'm shocked I never got pulled over for. But it was always just hanging there. It was hanging. But but yeah, no, I like this segment. Clearly, at least in my opinion, even though they had Braun come out and say like that he's good to go, clearly they wouldn't pull him from the match unless he hadn't been cleared yet. Right. I'm working on it and trying to figure out if that's the case. But I mean, that seems like the most logical reasoning that he's not cleared in time.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me how some of the most interesting matchups of the past couple years in WWE, at least on pay-per-view, like big marquee matches, because I feel like we are kind of robbed sometimes of marquee matches of like, oh man, we all really wanted to see those two guys go against each other and didn't think it would happen.
Right.
A lot of times that ends up happening because of circumstance based on injury or illness or something like that. And I feel like this is another one where it happened again, where like Braun versus Brock has clearly been the plan for a minute.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, we're getting a much more interesting probably not the main event, but much more interesting match at the Royal Rumble for the Universal Championship now. And we're going to get to that, obviously. But so I find that interesting. Do you think that they pulled him out of the match in a believable way, in a way that was that you had a problem with?
Here's what I would say. I'd say it worked because Vince is the head of the company still. So you mess with his limo, blah, blah, and then you complain about the $100,000. It worked. It was a bit clumsy, but it still worked. It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
And maybe other people might get bothered by it because, it's not organic through the process. I get that. But to me, it didn't bother me at all. And it we knew he's been fighting this injury, so it just reaffirmed that he was going to be able to do the match. And so I like that more than just pulling someone like we've done with Alexa, and not explaining why. Like, this is a whole nother situation, and I respect this, and I'm cool with this, and I thought it worked with the whole... And then it can play in the storyline down the road that, hey, you took a championship opportunity away from me, Mr. McMahon. I'm a monster among men. I'm going to get my championship opportunity back. So it plays out to make him the bad guy again as the boss. So I like it.
I agree. Okay, so yes and no. One, I like it because I do think I think at the end of the day, it is a good thing for everyone involved because I do think that Braun should finally defeat Brock for the title at WrestleMania.
Yep.
I think that's what needs to happen. I personally am of the belief that Seth versus Brock won't be as interesting of an option.
Okay.
So I think the person to finally dethrone the beast is the monster among men. You know, like that you have to swap one out for the other. And if there's going to be one dominant force, it should be Braun instead of Brock. If Brock's finally going to go away at that point and go to UFC and all that kind of stuff. So I like the fact that that we're prolonging that. We're excited. That's what I feel like they're doing here. It's like, hey, Braun's kind of cooled off a little bit because he's been injured. Let's wait. He's not cleared. Let's hold off. Let's not rush this, and let's make this Brock's match at WrestleMania. That's my guess. I don't know that. What I don't like about it is, to me, they came, and I hate that I keep harping back on this, but they came out a few weeks ago and they said, Raw has sucked. We're going to do things differently. And Vince McMahon doing that with Braun is no different than what the stuff that Baron Corbin was doing, except it's Vince McMahon doing it, who we all enjoy because it's Vince McMahon for nostalgia purposes. Yeah. But nonsensically removing someone from a title match that they earned is exactly what Baron Corbin was doing.
Okay, I see. Sorry, I see your point there. I do. But
it's like, we're going to do things differently. We're taking back Raw. We're going to do everything differently. Okay, well, Vince McMahon got mad at a wrestler for messing up his car, and so he pulled him out of the match.
It's very, and it's not only reminiscent of something Corbin did, it's reminiscent of the same beats they've done since the Attitude Era.
100%.
Whenever Vince gets involved, right? Remember DX putting like concrete in destroying his car.
Or Stone Cold did that.
Stone Cold did that, right? And then, but DX did mess with his limo too and blew it up or whatever.
Totally.
So you've got they're always messing with Vince, and Vince has to kind of get the revenge. He's not young enough anymore to play in these kinds of games.
He even sounds, and I hate to say it.
No, he does.
I hate to say it.
Oh, it's tough.
But it was rough listening to Vince McMahon. You talking about, I forget who it was recently, but you said something about, I think it was Hulk Hogan, where you said Hulk Hogan talking, him talking, he felt old for the first time.
Yes, he did.
I'll be honest with you, like Vince really is starting to like, and I know he is old. He's in his 70s, but like his voice doesn't sound the same. He's messing up on some of his lines. Like he messed up later in the show, the Royal Rumble line with Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
And I love Vince McMahon. Like I think Vince McMahon is a genius, obviously. Yeah. But it's starting to show.
Yeah, it is. You can see the glassy-eyed look. Do you see an old man where they've been woken up too early, or they're not, or they need to go to bed, or they just come out of the nap? You see that, and it's not. He's still a human being. He's not like a god. He's a human being. And so wrestling a god. He's just a human being. And so in those moments, you see the humanity of Vince coming through. I still champion Vince being on the TV and do what he's doing, but you can't help but notice that he's an older guy.
I mean, look at all his competitors from that time period. They're all not even in the business anymore.
Right.
He's been going strong for decades now. Like, you get tired, man. Like, you get really... I don't care who you are. At a certain point, your body gets tired.
Well, plus also, you look at it, like, the stuff he's had to deal with now as he moves further and further up the chain of respectability and billionaire status and what have you with a company like this, the Saudi Arabia stuff, right? Incorporating NXT, like all these different extensions of the brand. XFL. Like there's a lot of stress in his life. His wife being part of the Trump administration, then his wife running
Fox,
for
where they're going to go on network TV.
Yeah, Fox going on SmackDown going on Fox. Like, all of that is a lot of stress to put on a man in his 70s and have him at those board meetings. And I'm sure he's got incredible energy because most of these guys that can still do it at that age do, but it does show.
Hell
especially on the broad, because they're shooting these things, what, at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night? He's probably usually at home in his slippers getting ready for bed by 7 or 8 o'clock.
No, everyone says Vince McMahon's that guy who like sleeps 3 hours a night.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, he's like Sinatra then. All right, respect.
Yeah, he's like that kind who just doesn't sleep. Like I don't know how people,
but
that will catch up to you as we're saying.
By the end, Sinatra couldn't even remember the lyrics of his songs. They had to put him on teleprompters when he went to do concerts. So it happens.
Yep.
It happens.
Yep.
All right, well, let's move on so he's out, and we'll find out who's going to be.
We're going to find out
later on. Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks teamed up against Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka. Thoughts?
Well, one thing I thought while I was watching this match is I respect the hell out of Ronda Rousey continually updating her arsenal. Like, a lot of times, like, someone like her could rest on her laurals. Like, someone like her could coast.
Cena.
5
moves Cena. Yeah.
There are people like that.
Before there was changes.
Like, I mean, I love Cena's a great wrestler, but Cena has most certainly relied on the same moveset. He has tried to update it in his older age. Like, even last night, I saw him doing some stuff.
Rope.
Yeah, off the top rope.
Yeah.
Although he has tried to do that leg drop off the top rope. He has done a leg drop off the top rope before. There was another move that I saw him do. Oh, it was that... The DDT off the top rope where he did like the jumping. Is that the one you mean? Yeah, when he did like the jumping DDT off the top rope. The what's it called?
The Hurricane Rana?
No. The DDT. What's that called? The spinning DDT. What's the? I'm blanking out the name, but you guys all know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Tornado DDT.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
And so, but from the top rope, it was cool looking.
Yeah.
But Ronda very easily could rely on the same set of moves, and I really enjoyed the fact that she seems to be updating it. She seems to be, when she is on the house shows, she seems to be working on certain things, adding things to her arsenal, tightening things up, making things a little bit better. So I appreciate that. I like that aspect of things. I also liked the idea of pairing them up. I think that, because Ronda showed so much respect for Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
And Sasha didn't show back. I think this was actually, for the first time in a long time, one of those times where they did like the people feuding have to tag team together, where like it wasn't dumb, like where I actually kind of liked it. I liked it because they were both kind of like one-upping each other. Sasha Banks feels like she's got something to prove, and then on top of that, they had that ending segment, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was probably one of the best Sasha Banks promos in a long time, that they've let her like just kind of be Sasha Banks, like be the cocky Sasha Banks that she is, and just throw it in Ronda Rousey's face of like, yo, you said that stuff about me, I didn't say that stuff about you. Like I like that cockiness about Sasha Banks. I really liked this segment. I liked even during that segment, I thought that there was really great acting going on from Ronda Rousey too. Like, I know, and maybe you don't agree, maybe we're going to disagree here, but as someone who at least tried to act before, I could see in Ronda Rousey that she was acting like she was having this internal struggle where between Mark and Champion, where she's been this wrestling mark for so long now that she's loved Sasha Banks. I mean, if you've seen there's a video that went viral on Twitter. A bunch of people shared it. I shared it as well, or I tweeted it, or I retweeted it as well, where it's from Ronda Rousey's YouTube channel, and it's her just marking out over the fact that they're booking her against Sasha Banks, and that's the match at Royal Rumble, and it's her just being like, man, this is so effing cool. Like, she's totally cussing, like, this is so effing cool. Like, I am wrestling effing Sasha Banks, the coolest. She's like totally marking out. Yeah, it's great. You should watch it. It's really cool. I'll send it to you. But I liked that in the segment that was on Raw, it was like she was, at least in my opinion, you could see that she was struggling with the fact that, like, she wanted to be homies with Sasha Banks, but at the same time, like, she had to be tough, and so she, like, said something back. I forget what it was, but she kind of, like,
it'll be an honor to beat you.
She said something, but yes, she said something. No. She said,
tap you out? Did you say my greatest?
Maybe it was it'll be an honor to beat you. Is that what she called her, a sore loser?
It'll be the strongest accomplishment. It'll be the greatest accomplishment I've done to this point. Would be to beat Sasha Banks at blah blah blah. Defend my title.
I forget but there was one line where she said it and then instantly looked in her face like she regretted it. Like she was like, oh no, I'm sorry. Like she said it because it's like her natural reaction of like, bitch, I'm Ronda Rousey, but then it was like, oh, but wait, that's Sasha Banks, and it was like, I liked that internal struggle there, so much so to where she chased her down, like where she like did the tough thing, and Sasha, went out, and then she was like, oh no, what am I doing? It's Sasha Banks, like I love her, and she like got out of the ring and went and talked shit. I think that was really good seeds for the beginning of the 4 Horsemen versus 4 Horsewomen stuff.
That's for sure. But it seems like then what they're doing is they're turning the 4 Horsewomen, the original ones, into heels.
Which I'm cool with.
You're cool. Well, how are they going to make Bayley a heel, man?
A lot of people have been saying Bayley should have a heel turn for a long time. A lot of people are saying that her face run hasn't been well, and that if they gave her some edge to her and gave her a little bit of tough attitude, that people might take her seriously, a la Bayley. I'm sorry, a la Becky Lynch.
Yeah, but Becky's already cornered that market. But I'm not saying to be in it for a year and then maybe.
I'm not saying she should be a Becky Lynch ripoff, but if she had her own
with
tough Latina edge, you wouldn't be into it.
No, I would. It would just. I don't know if it would ring true. Like, would it feel correct?
I agreed.
And that's the thing with Ronda. With Ronda, it's tough for me sometimes because when Ronda's being nice, it doesn't look real. It doesn't look real at all. It looks fake as hell when she's like kissing Sasha Banks' ass. Now, I'm not saying she's not telling the truth. She must be in the YouTube video. You must enjoy it. You said you enjoyed it, so it feels like natural or truth telling. But to me, it's a weird angle to give a newbie wrestler to play this kind of complexity as an actor. You're right. It's supposed to be playing double levels, and we've seen this before in the WWE with really good performers be able to play the I didn't mean. I'm just trying to. Oh man, what have I done? That kind of thing. It doesn't ring true because Ronda's such a badass. It's not her natural instinct to be like.
I disagree because I see her as such a big wrestling fan.
I didn't 100% like the Sasha Banks response either.
Really?
Yeah. There's this thing about Sasha sometimes. I think she stumbles over her words or says certain words in a certain way. And look, I'm the last one to say anything. I'm on so much shit. I stumble sometimes.
But she has a certain cadence.
But she has a cadence. Yeah. And the thing is, I thought she did better promos in NXT, in my opinion, that had less of that. Her Vicious Vio promos were more confident. This whole and all that kind of stuff, it belies a person that doesn't feel as confident. Because you've got to show off like that, it's because you really want to try to like intimidate the other person by being this way. When in fact, when you got something, you ain't got to do any of that shit. You got it,
Fair.
And that's what I think is a little weird about their back and forth. I didn't 100% buy. And the promo did nothing to elevate the match, to make people want to see it or not see it.
I completely disagree here. Okay. Really?
All
yeah,
right.
see, I completely disagree that.
You're right, absolutely.
In my opinion, like, especially that last part, because we've gotten, like, we've been teased with, like, the idea of 4 Horsewomen versus 4 Horsewomen for, like, almost a year now. So, yes, it's like that Mae Young Classic thing. So it's been a while since they teased it.
Yeah.
I think that, like, we've already been teased with the Becky and Charlotte. We've had Ronda interact with Becky and Charlotte. The fact that now they're dragging Sasha and possibly Bayley into it, and now Sasha's throwing up the 4 Horsemen versus 4 Horsemen thing, that actually got me super hyped for their match at Royal Rumble, because I was thinking about it, and if they're already throwing up the 4 Horsemen versus 4 Horsewomen thing, to me, the Royal Rumble is the first place where it's plausible that all 4 will be, that all 8 will be there.
Yeah.
Jessamine and Marina have been wrestling. Shayna is going to be in the area for a takeover. There's going to be a Women's Royal Rumble that they need to have people in. It's not that crazy to think that this year Shayna will be in the Women's Royal Rumble and maybe get involved with the Ronda match if they're already in the Royal Rumble beforehand. You know, that's kind of how I look at it. You said that you think the WWE 4 Horsewomen are kind of going to be cast as the heels in this scenario.
Yeah, it feels like that's what with Becky and Charlotte playing heel, and then maybe Sasha now.
I think they're going more shades of gray on everyone.
Okay.
Because there's no way they see Shayna Baszler as a face. Shayna's such a good heel. She is such a natural heel. There's no way they're thinking that if she comes in that she's going to be looked at as a face.
Nikki Cross walked in and became a face tonight.
Well, she's been getting cheered for a while in NXT, though.
Right, cheered is a whole other ballgame. Stone Cold got cheered when he was like being a heel. The Rock as well.
Nikki's been playing the face side of things.
Has she?
Yeah, because she was doing the whole like had a secret. Yeah, no, not with Sanity, but post Sanity. With the whole like Nikki has a secret thing, and then like Nikki, let me play.
Question, do you think they did that video of her to kind of help her make the face jump here on Raw?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. It was a good video. If you guys haven't seen the video they do on Nikki's last day at NXT, it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. Also, I unbeknownst to me, because I can only see so much at a time, apparently all her Performance Center videos were out of character.
Oh, wow.
She did another one. She's like in full tears when she debuted at the Staples Center.
Wow.
And so, I recommend checking out the Performance Center YouTube. There's some really good shows and videos and stuff on there. I try my best to stay updated with it. But yeah, no, I thought the Nikki thing went well. But yeah, I personally, that's funny because I didn't expect that to be one when we were going to be on such opposite sides of it. Because that one got me hyped.
I wanted to like it because I love Sasha. Sasha Banks is, and I'll be honest with you, Sasha Banks is my top favorite wrestler on Raw. For females, absolutely #1 wrestler for me. I love her to pieces. I hate how they've screwed her over, and in a weird way. And this is true. To be honest with you, as a guy who's won titles in the Shibata and lost them right afterwards, I feel like a kind of a kinship with Sasha because Sasha wins these belts and then loses them in the next match afterwards. It's a tough cross to carry. It's a tough cross to carry. So to see, I find a kinship with Sasha even more because of that. Of course, she's booked to lose them. I actually legitimately lose them. She's booked to lose them. So that's the situation. But I feel a kinship with her, and so I like champion her coming back into the main event picture. Do you see her beating Ronda?
No.
Yeah, right, exactly. I don't think so. But I hope it's a good match because, like, Alexa Bliss got destroyed by Ronda. So, logically, so should Sasha.
No.
In my opinion. Alexa is just as powerful as Sasha. Are you kidding?
Are you kidding?
Are you? Let's do that the whole time. For like 5 minutes. Are you kidding?
Just back and forth in the head. Do it too. No, I mean, no way. Sasha Banks is like...
What?
What are you? I know you love Alexa Bliss.
I do. Alexa's a tough, strong, stocky girl. She has the strong legs. I don't mean stocky. I mean strong legs.
She's like 5 foot something. She's not.
Though she be but tiny, she is fierce. That's what I'm saying to you. But like Sasha's thin up top. There's not a lot of muscle there. So to me, I think they're the same. Is what I'm trying to say. You think Sasha's stronger than Alexa?
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
I mean, I would think strength wise, yeah. I mean.
How about where's Bayley in this?
Now I'm all confused, Rocha.
Because I've watched Bayley's videos. She's been lifting a lot of weights lately.
Bayley's pretty strong.
Yeah, she's strong.
Yeah.
That girl's strong.
I think Alexa Bliss, like, she's got a lot of good gymnastics kind of in her. She's good gymnast.
Yeah. Strong legs for that stuff.
Yeah, strong legs. But I think Sasha's more muscular than Alexa. Alexa's pretty small.
Okay. I'm sorry, Alex. I'm sorry you had to hear that from Ron.
I'm sorry. It's not a rude thing. She's more in shape than I am, for God's sakes.
I should have never said stocky. That's a terrible thing to say. But I just meant that she's strong at the bottom with her legs and her lower body's a stronger.
I got what you meant.
Yeah, let's move on before I get in trouble. All right, Lucha House Party took on the Revival. Hey, the Lucha House Party is still dancing around this thing. I don't know what they're doing with the Revival, man.
Hey, things are going to be different on Raw. Let's keep booking Lucha House Party versus Revival matches.
Yeah. And let's do the foot on the bottom rope thing to spark
100 times.
spark some kind of weird ass controversy. It was dumb.
I mean, at least it went back to the revival this time.
I guess.
So there'd be some sort of difference from what they had been doing.
But it's filler, man. It means nothing.
Agreed. That's how I feel about it right now. I feel like it's very much, it's not very meaningful at all right now.
If you're going to be a filler match, be a damn good filler match.
Were the tag team titles even on Raw last night?
Nope.
Yeah, Chad Gable and Rude. I just thought about it. They weren't even on Raw last night. And they had a lot of people that just showed up talking about title matches. Weird. Yeah, I didn't even think about that till right now. My favorite part of the match was I like that they had the rival had the FTR on their trunks, like F the Revival, which was a being the elite trope.
Yeah.
So I found that interesting because I was like, that's weird, shouting out the Young Bucks at this point with the whole all elite wrestling stuff. I was a little surprised by that. I mean, I'm sure there has to be, I'm sure that can go by. That will go over the head of a lot of people, but not everyone.
Yeah, well, certainly not Vince or Triple H.
And someone's going to point it out at some point to them, unless it was a totally clear thing. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting.
It has to be cleared.
You would think.
They can't walk out in their tights with certain things on them.
But do you think they asked for that?
Well, I think you risk your job. I think if Triple H sees that or Vince sees that and understands what that means, and they didn't approve it, it's a conversation in the locker room. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because then that bleeds the other wrestlers. Oh, they got away with it. That's what was the big deal. Remember when we interviewed her hair red?
Oh, Eva Marie.
Eva Marie. When we interviewed Eva Marie, we talked about how she took that bold step of dyeing her hair.
Yeah.
And how it almost got her fired from coming before she even had day one in a ring.
Yes.
And so you don't make those kinds of decisions without the approval.
Yeah, that's fair. Did you watch? You didn't watch Total Bellas. The premiere happened.
I did not.
It's good stuff.
Was it?
Yeah, not allowed to say Cena's name on the show. They never said his name once.
What?
It's just my ex. My ex.
Did he probably put a thing down like you can't say my name anymore?
It seems that way because when she pulls up to pick up her stuff from the house, she's like, because the episode she's crying in the house, she's like leaving.
That's so weird to me, man.
What?
That's so weird.
That what?
Why do you have cameras doing breakup and all?
So it's on the dash cam. It's like one of those kind of like a GoPro or whatever, you know. So she's filming on one of those, and she pulls up and she's like, "Well, I'm not allowed to film on this property anymore, so I'll be back." And she turns it off, and then it comes back on, and it's like 1 hour later, and it's her leaving, like crying and stuff.
Wow.
I mean, I get it. The reality show's part of her life. Like,
I guess, but dude, filming your breakup and filming your going to get your
she didn't
stuff.
film her breakup, and Cena probably wasn't even there.
Well, he might have been. That's why he was crying.
We don't know.
Throwing shit out. And take this. And take this. and take your Divas title. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me. And listen, I've worked on reality shows. They rarely use the first take, people. So
that's true.
Let that be in your head. What you're watching from Nikki and Brie and all those people on those reality shows are rarely the first takes. They work it up and do the. I've been on a couple of reality shows. I'm telling you the truth. I went one
100% truth.
Yep, you know. The whole season they make you do it over and over again.
When I was on Laguna Beach for an episode, it was like me walking Steven to the train. He was going to go back home to Laguna Beach because it was like the first episode of the season. So it was like Steven going back to Laguna Beach, and because we were roommates at the time, and it was us talking. And I remember like we walked to the train, and we talked and we said some stuff, and then he got in the train. And then right before the doors closed, he hopped back out, and then like a producer came out of nowhere because I didn't even know where they were. It was kind of like one producer was way down there, was like, okay, walk there, do that, talk, go there. You won't see the cameras because there wasn't like cameras following us. They were like positioned in weird spots, and so we like walked. He did that. He hops out, and like a guy came up and was like, hey, so that was good, but maybe you could talk to Steven about this. Just try talking about this.
Yeah.
Like what? You're like,
yep.
Oh, okay. And then you like talk, and we did like 3 takes where Steven like got in, jumped out right before the doors closed, and the producer came like, well, okay, well, this was good, but maybe talk about this.
Yeah. So, when you say it's a reality show, it really isn't. I mean,
although the dash cam
emotions might be weird, the same.
Although to be fair,
you can't edit a dash cam.
No, what I was gonna say, to be fair, is Nikki's the executive producer on the show. So I don't think there's someone sitting there telling her to do a bunch of takes on that. She might have done a bunch of takes herself.
That's what I mean.
But to be fair, she's probably alone in the car. She's the executive producer of the show.
All day women are like, I gotta look at every picture you take of me. I got so.
Of course.
There's no way a woman like that is not editing her stuff every single takes and what. There's no way.
Fair.
There's no way.
Fair.
Yeah. So
they all do it. Yeah,
fair. So do you want to preview the Total Bellas?
No. That's just that was all. That's the biggest newsworthy moment that came out of the first episode.
All right.
That and Nikki moved to LA.
That's what. Yeah. Wasn't Daniel angry about it? Or
Very
something?
angry about it.
Why is he mad that she's moving? It's not his wife.
Well, because the reason they moved to San Diego for Nikki. Like Nikki asked for help when she was having her neck
from
issues.
Seattle to go down.
I think it was Arizona. They went from Arizona to San Diego for Nikki because she was asking for help. And then, like, when they got there, they were only supposed to be there for a short period of time. Then she was like, hey, why don't you guys move here? We'll do things all the time together. And so they kind of, like, moved there for Nikki. And now Nikki's like, well, single later. It's like...
Ladies and gentlemen, don't ever do anything for anybody who needs to be the center of attention because you will get screwed in the end.
That's basically what in the episode, that's kind of what Bree and Daniel kind of finally, like, Bree's like, you know what, it's your life. You're right. I shouldn't base my life around you. You're right. Like, you know, do your thing.
Exactly.
I get it.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
Don't make excuses for them. Don't get suckered into it. Do your thing.
Like, this was a decision I made. I get it. But Daniel was not pumped.
I bet he was super pissed. Daniel's not that kind of guy.
He was also not pumped when Bree came back. Because she came back to the ring.
Oh.
Because they were trying to have another kid. Oh. And then WWE called about Evolution, and she was like, hey, I'm going to go back to Evolution. She's like, did you tell them we're trying to have a kid right now? And she's like, no, I want to come back. And he was like, not pumped about it. But that's also reality television stuff.
Yeah, and I also think, dude, you're just having sex with her. Like, she's got to carry the baby. If she wants to go back to the ring, let her go back to the ring. When she comes back out, she'll be more anxious to have the baby at that point. You got to look at the long game. It's not always the short-term moment.
I mean, he basically says, like, it doesn't really matter what I think at a certain point. He understands at a certain point.
Yeah, he's got to get it.
Yeah, he's the best character on Total Bellas.
Of course he is, because Daniel Bryan's the best character.
He's the best.
All right, so Vince McMahon came out and had a conversation with everybody about the Universal Championship. I like this whole thing. Everybody got a little bit. John Cena came out. There was a lot of truth going on in this ring. John Cena said, hey, when everybody told you to take a hike, and they wanted to move on to greener pastures, and you looked around a bunch of misfits and cast-offs, I went up to you like a man and said, give me a shot. I will carry the ball. And then you gave me a shot after shot after shot. That was a pretty awesome thing that he said. Then McIntyre came in and said, it's my time. You can go on home like everybody else. All you old-timers need to go on home. You hear it all the time in any business. And then what's-his-face came out. Corbin came out saying that I should have this shot, which, of course, everybody booed and no one wants. And then Finn Balor came out. And I like Balor coming out, fresh off his NXT UK TakeOver match, coming out saying, I'm tired of not being part of these conversations. Then there's a big battle, but McIntyre stands tall after everything, and then Vince says, "We're going to have a 4-way match later on to see who's going to face Lesnar at the Rumble." So interesting.
I went through like waves here in this segment. I went through waves. I'm not going to say I liked or disliked the segment as a whole because it went through waves.
Wow.
When Vince came out, I was like, okay. And then when Cena's music hit, I literally wanted to vomit. I was like, look it. Cena is coming back for a small run. You have told us things are going to change. And the change is bringing John Cena back for a title match? Are you effing out of your effing mind? That was me watching my television screen. I was like yelling at the screen. I was like, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? And then I was like, Cena was doing his whole thing. And then when he started the whole ruthless aggression thing, I was just also continuing with my wanting to vomit because I was just like, no, that is not change. That does not change talking about ruthless aggression. Ruthless aggression is in the past. I thought we are trying to move forward to a new era. And so Cena bringing up the past of ruthless aggression. And look, I know some people like that era, but like that's beside the point. I was just like, it's going backwards, which is what wrestling fans are having a problem with. We want you to go forward, new people, new stuff.
Into the light,
away from nostalgia. Like, I like nostalgia as much as the next guy, but there's only so much nostalgia I can take. There's only so much. And I was just like, man, I don't care. I was just so frustrated. I was literally just at my TV going like, no, please don't book this match. Then Drew McIntyre's music hit. And I was like, okay, this is better. I'm good with this. Like, Drew McIntyre's good. I handle this. Although, in my mind, I really don't think Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar is that exciting of an option because they're both such strong heels. A heel versus heel match at a pay-per-view is not like
it's never cool.
Yeah, it's not going to be something that'll be enjoyable. As much as I like Drew McIntyre, like, it does not seem like they are trying to turn him into a face. So There's no point in him beating Brock Lesnar, and there's really no point in Brock Lesnar beating him. Everybody loses in that scenario.
Yeah, agreed.
So I was like, great. I was hoping that maybe we're finally going to get just John Cena versus Drew McIntyre, and I was thinking, oh, okay, here's where it is. John Cena's putting Drew McIntyre over. That's at least good. Because clearly Cena has come back and he's like, all right, fine. If you're going to make me go on TV, I'm using that time to put over people that I like. I'm putting over Becky Lynch. I'm putting over the person that we put over at the end of the main event. But that's how it felt to me. So I was like, okay, cool. Maybe he's here to put over Drew McIntyre. Feeling less gross about the scenario.
Yeah.
I love Drew McIntyre. I liked him getting in Vince's face. Didn't love the ruthless aggression stuff from Drew McIntyre as much, but I at least get it that he's like, yo, I'm the one. That I'm trying to be the chosen one. I'm okay with him trying to fulfill his chosen one prophecy. That makes sense to me. So okay, it's a little less weird than the ruthless aggression thing. Then Baron Corbin's music hit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no. I thought Drew McIntyre wouldn't be like a fun main event or fun title match for Royal Rumble. Corbin, we got awful. Like, I was just like, what? Yeah. Why is he even here still? Like, why is he involved in the main event scene? Yeah. I get that you put him over a long time, but then you buried him like crazy by saying he made the show terrible. Yeah. And it didn't necessarily give him heel heat. It gave him that go-away heat. And so Corbin walking out was back to like, this is the three-way. We're getting a three-way for who's going to be the number one contender out of these guys. Yeah. One of these people is this is not a good sign. I was just like, this is not a great sign. And that's no knock on Drew McIntyre because I'm really a big fan of Drew McIntyre. Yeah. But then Finn Balor's music hit, and I was like, back up. I was like, okay. Okay.
This you're going to work with.
This is the match that has to happen.
Right.
Right when he walked out, I said to myself, okay. Finn Balor has to win this because it's the only thing that makes sense. He never lost the Universal title. Right. He's never had a shot at it again. He's been just kind of like sitting there waiting for his time. But like all things are pointing to this being Finn's moment in the wake of Roman Reigns being absent. So I was very excited because I had heard that Finn Balor might be getting a big opportunity in the near future. So I was like very excited about it. The stuff with Vince, loved it because that's all very true.
Yeah, he did. You never believed in me, Vince.
Yeah, I like when reality is blended with fiction, and I think they did that well. Of him being like, I don't really care. You never really had any confidence in me anyway, because it's 100% true.
And Vince says it. Look at all this beef in the ring. Yeah, you think you can handle all this beef in the ring? And I'm like, oh my God, we're having some real conversations now.
That line cracked me up when he said, you think you can handle all this beef in the ring?
Beef in the ring?
I just cracked up. That was so good. Vince talking about all this beef in the ring and talking about scoops earlier in the night when he's like, you want the scoop, Charlie, or Dasha, whichever one it was. I forget which one it was. I love that. I liked it.
Shout out, by the way, shout out to all the ladies getting bobs in the WWE. They all, like Charlie, Ruby Riott, I think Renee.
It's a popular look right now.
They all got the bobs.
It's popular. So I liked the whole you think you can handle all this beef. But I liked. I didn't like the AJ Styles Vince encounter when Vince got punched by AJ Styles. I felt, man, from watching this segment, that should have gone to Finn here. Yeah. Because AJ didn't need it. His character is so firmly established, they've done nothing really from it since. Yeah. Except for like one backstage encounter. Yeah. Finn could have really used that punch to the face to Vince because that would have the crowd would have went nuts for that.
I also think, and this is what my honest feeling is about this, Vince is better booked to do his stuff on Raw than he is on SmackDown. SmackDown is a younger show. SmackDown can't use Vince. It doesn't need Vince.
It didn't need him, yeah.
Raw needs Vince. Yeah. Because Raw books like an older style show, whereas SmackDown is quicker and faster paced and younger and everything like that. And so Vince doesn't fit there. And so that's why I've always enjoyed him more on Raw versus SmackDown since the comeback, I guess. Since the comeback, I'm not always, but since the comeback, I like him better on Raw than SmackDown.
Agreed.
He just seems more fit there. So yeah.
Yes, no, absolutely, 100%. And I liked that this segment did end with Drew McIntyre on top, at least since he's not the one who ended up winning, because it did make him look good as well.
Agreed. All right, let's move on because we only got 15 minutes left in the show.
Sorry.
Nikki Cross, Natalya, and Bayley took on the Riot Squad. Just your thought about Nikki Cross making the debut like this, because it didn't say that they're going to go one way or the other. She could be on SmackDown as well. But Nikki Cross's debut on this, did it feel clumsy? Did it feel right? And did Ruby seemed a bit out of it throughout the whole match. It was a little weird to watch for me.
I didn't get that vibe as much, but maybe I wasn't paying as close attention to it.
By when she's in the tarp or whatever, she was just like,
You don't feel like her heart was in it?
She wasn't giving any kind of thing. And maybe it's because here comes Nikki to take a little bit of shine. Ruby's trying to build up. Maybe Ruby's upset that they're kind of pushing her pushback by having her lose here in this match and her Riot Squad. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know that, but I will say that I think that it was all the call-ups it was oddly done.
Yeah.
I think that it was weird to say, we don't know where they're going to debut yet, but we're going to show you on all the shows. Like, why?
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I didn't really understand that point because it's like, why not just say, hey, we watched them on the WWE. It almost feels like nobody in the WWE is supposed to be familiar with these people.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that. You have the WWE Network. It's one thing when those wrestlers came out of the indies and you had to reintroduce them to the audience, but there is a portion of the audience who is familiar with these people, who did watch them in NXT. And I get having to acclimate them to the ones who don't.
Sure.
But I just thought it's weird to be like, we don't know where they're going to go yet. And, they kind of just rushed Nikki out there. And they did. I think she shined. I
think so too. But
but it was weird.
It was clumsy.
It was weird.
It was an awkward fit with Bayley. And because why give Bayley the pin? If Nikki's debuting, that was weird to me. Bayley doesn't need to shine.
Agreed.
But
also at the same time, you would have come in here and complained about Nikki debuting over Ruby Riott or something like that.
Over Ruby Riott? If she had pinned Ruby Riott?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have had a problem with that. Because I like Nikki.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, because I like Nikki, and I think Nikki deserves it. That's not true. I think Nikki deserves it. Ruby's been there for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, my thing is if Natty beats Ruby, that's my issue. If Natty been there 35 damn years. Like, I like Ruby. The thing is, the new ones going over, I'm cool with. The old ones getting over on the new ones, I'm not always a fan of.
But the same for the EC3 and the Lacey Evans thing.
Yeah.
I will say, and we're going to get to it in a minute, I loved the Otis thing, and that's why I know we're going to disagree with that.
We're gonna talk about
I
that.
loved the Otis thing, but I thought the EC3 thing was very strange.
Yeah, EC3 was weird.
I thought Lacey Evans was very strange, and I thought Nikki Cross could have been done better.
I don't know what's going to happen with Lacey. That's the one. And I don't have a lot of time to get into it. I don't know what's going to happen with Lacey.
I still believe that she's going to be the most successful out of all the call-ups. Wow. When you asked me that originally, I think
you did say that.
I'm still of the belief that she's going to get the biggest push out of everybody.
Okay. And Lacey never won the belt.
But she's so, like...
It's interesting.
But neither did Elias, and Vince loved him.
It's true. Well,
and I think that she's got such a throwback character that Vince is going to love it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, this is the new Moolah.
Plus, she's military.
Yeah,
that's huge
totally.
for the
blonde,
Red State
military,
fans.
fancy lady.
Yep.
Oh, it's my new Moolah.
She doesn't wear a bikini. She wears the larger bikinis.
She has the old hat.
Yep.
100%.
Very much from the USO times.
Yes.
So you respect that. All right. We're going to skip the Finn Balor Jinder Mahal match because we knew Balor was going to win that. Triple threat match for the IC Championship. Are you happy that Lashley took this thing?
I was. I think that Lashley and Leo, the pairing of the two, has been very good. I think that
now it really paid dividends this match.
Yes, and I think that
finally
I could have sworn that it was last week when you and I were talking about the fact that Elias and Lashley was kind of missing something.
Yeah,
there was something missing from that feud. It was kind of losing steam.
Yep.
Elias wanting his first title in WWE to take that title from Lashley is something they can kind of play with. I think it's something that adds some fuel to that feud. Gets things a little hot again. It helps them. So I think that in that sense, it helps them. I don't think Dean and Seth were really doing anything.
It wasn't catching fire.
It wasn't catching on. Nope. I think that's largely in part to the fact that it was kind of. I think the silence from Dean for a few weeks didn't help.
Right.
I think that Seth, who's supposed to be the face, saying things like "I'll never forgive you for this" doesn't make sense.
Right.
When he also turned on them and Dean forgave him.
Yeah.
Why would we? Why isn't any different than what Dean has done to him? Like just because Roman's cancer was involved?
Yeah. Well,
come on.
And the thing is, they rushed that breaking up, and they rushed that whole heel thing, and they rushed it, and giving them like Lashley to fight, and them coming together to fight Lashley is, I think, an interesting foreshadowing that they're going to eventually come back together as a tag team.
As heel unit?
Maybe heel or face, but put their differences behind. And then Rollins, I think face. And then Rollins jumps back into the main event.
Dean already being a face again?
Yeah.
No,
I think that's coming.
That's too fast.
They said they're making all these changes.
Jacket collection?
But they're saying they're making all these changes.
Yeah, he's got all these cool jackets now. But Dean's just gonna throw away his jackets to put his vest back on?
Well, maybe Dean's a tweener then, where he goes like flies in between both. It's certainly possible. Why not? Big Show does it all the goddamn time, so why not? Let's make it happen. All right, let's move on. I like the Lashley thing as well. I'm a fan of it. He needed the title, and it's the first time he's ever won it, which was a surprise to me that I didn't know that. And now
I was surprised by that fact too.
Right?
I was like, I would have thought for sure
the last time he had
But
won
I guess since he was the ECW champion, the WWE ECW champion, I guess it would have kind of been a step backwards if he had gone from being that title, since it was kind of being, they tried at least to place it on the level of their other world titles. It would have been a step back for him to have won the Intercontinental title, I guess.
Exactly. And you see that, and so we'll see how that goes along. All right, let's jump into this thing. Moment of bliss. Let's do it, because we got to wrap up soon.
A few minutes later. They'll get mad, but whatever. I'll text Dennis.
That's true. I did already. He said, you got 5 extra minutes. That's it.
Oh, good, great.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I slacked him. All right, a moment of bliss.
Yes.
All right, let's have this conversation. First of all,
tag team titles first.
Okay, fine. First. Guy walking in on her first.
Oh yeah. Sorry, we've stepped that over.
Look, no one thinks Alexa Bliss is more beautiful than I do. No one on this planet thinks she's more hot or beautiful than I do. But I didn't like this moment because this is going back to the Attitude Era where they had the Divas title, they had the TNA matches, they had the Braun Panties matches, and this felt weird to have a guy walk in. Plus, in 2019, when you're talking about Me Too movements and Time's Up movements, to have a guy just walk through the door, even though he said, "I'm coming in now," she is literally in a state of undress. Once again, beautiful, very attractive to see her naked back, but I thought it was inappropriate.
I just didn't get that. I just didn't feel that way from watching it.
Obviously she's complicit because she participated.
I just feel like there's you would see something like this on a children's show and find no different from it. She wasn't naked.
You wouldn't see this on a children's show?
Not necessarily like a cartoon, but like a Degrassi or something like that. It's not like WWE doesn't have some adult themes to it. And she wasn't naked. She was literally wearing just as much as she wears in the ring.
That was her back, and she was covering her breasts.
So are most people. Most female wrestlers are only wearing a bra in the ring, basically.
Look, you won't have any argument from my girlfriend. That's for damn sure.
I mean, most of them. Most of them are half naked. So I don't think that the guys are in their freaking underwear.
We've already spoken my uncomfortability with that.
I know that, but like I was sitting with my girlfriend, who's a woman, who was like, why are people making a big deal? Why are people making a big deal out of this? Who cares? So I don't know. I just feel like.
I think there's
not children's show.
There's an argument on both sides.
I'll take you back to children's show.
Yeah.
A teenager show.
You can see it on Friends.
No, I was gonna say a young adult show.
Sure.
Like when I was growing up, that shit would have happened on like a Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Like I don't know. Like I watched Dawson's Creek as a kid. Who cares? Okay, but like Dawson's Creek, had that kind of stuff happen. There was like some adult. Children can see some adult things. I watched rated R movies when I was a kid, and I don't think there was one iota of the sex reference here. Just because I get that she was topless.
She's covering her breast in a way.
Can I say this much?
And she says, "Get out."
I was less offended in all the things that you said of like the Me Too comparisons, and this is going backwards. I didn't feel that way.
Okay.
If anything, this segment annoyed me for 2 other reasons.
Okay.
One, didn't understand the point of it.
Yeah.
Didn't really understand what it advanced at all.
Fair. That's fair too.
That I didn't. Nothing to do with women and equal rights or going back to the adver. I just was like, what was the point of this?
To me, it's all connected. But I hear you.
Because you think that the answer to that is they wanted to show boobs on the show?
They wanted to show her in a sexual way, yes. Because guys have a thing for Alexa, and damn right, because she's incredibly gorgeous and very sexy with a body. And so I think they want, and Alexa agreed to it, so I can't 100%
For what I've been told, it was Alexa's idea.
Oh, okay, even better.
For what I was told,
for her,
I heard from the source that it was an Alexa thing that she was trying to do a little bit of a tribute to Trish Stratus because it was like a thing Trish Stratus done back in the day. She's a big Trish Stratus fan.
All right.
So from what I heard, it was a thing that she wanted to do.
Okay.
It was not a thing that was pushed on her.
Okay.
That being said,
then it's an empowering move by her giving tribute to an older wrestler, respect on that way.
That being said, however, if I were a producer on the show, I would have said no because I don't understand what point, what it helped forward at all.
All it does is make guys, get attracted or horny for her,
which
and
they
then
already
follow
kind of
her
are.
on Instagram and whatever. Yeah,
but they already are. It's not like
yeah.
that. She's, like I said, she's wearing the exact same amount of clothes. It's like the Mandy thing. The Mandy towel thing wasn't anything special to me because she was wearing more clothes than she wears in the ring.
I thought that was funny for the insinuation. I thought that was good. That was well done.
Totally. So I think that with the Alexa thing, sorry, I didn't get to my second thing I didn't like about it. The first didn't make sense or didn't advance anything. Second, what was Alexa doing that she didn't hear that door knock? It was dead silent in the dressing room.
It was.
First. Second, he knocked very loudly twice.
He did, and spoke loudly twice.
Spoke loudly as he was opening the door. Third, she didn't have she could have just had AirPods in and taken one out and been like, I didn't hear it. Would have felt less weird about the whole situation. Yeah. Those were my issues with it.
Okay.
I didn't find it to be as big of a deal as others did in terms of sexuality.
Okay, so then we move on. The announcement of the tag team champ. Finally, we get the official announcement. They'll be tag team champions, crowned at Elimination Chamber, which is the pay-per-view after Royal Rumble, before WrestleMania. 6 teams are competing, 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown. So it is going to be an inter-brand championship.
But see, they didn't say that.
What?
They didn't, because what if the Raw team wins and they say it's a Raw title now? I don't think they know.
Okay.
It feels to me like they finally got the belts at Raw and they were like, those look good. We should show them on TV tonight. Well, what's the plan? Well, we'll put this together. We don't really know yet 100%.
Okay.
That's the vibe I got, because it was also like kind of wedged in there out of nowhere. It was kind of like random that she was unveiling it, especially because she's not in charge of the women's division anymore. So I didn't understand why she was the one unveiling it.
This whole show is stupid.
There was just a lot of things that
moment of bliss.
not connecting from the past or whatever. Right. I thought the belts looked cool though.
Yeah, belts were great.
I do hope they are interbrand. I think that's a good idea. However, with the interbrand thing and these call-ups where they're being like, oh, they're going to be on both shows, this makes me think the brand split
is over.
Is going to be gone soon.
I think it should be too, and it's probably from the SmackDown, the Raw anger at SmackDown.
I think
everyone talks about how SmackDown is great, and Raw doesn't want to feel like a redheaded stepchild again.
I think it's that partly, and the Fox deal. I think that if they're going to be on network TV, they want to have all their marquee people on SmackDown.
Who's going to do? Yeah, that's a fair point. All right, so Otis came in and interrupted this thing. Look, here's the deal. I liked Otis coming in. That was funny. Him speaking gibberish is great. It's certainly on brand for that character. His partner coming in and ushering him out. My problem was this. You make this great announcement about a women's tag team championships, and then you bring in these 2 dudes at the end that takes a little bit of shine off the announcement. It's stupid. It's akin to what happened, I forget, WrestleMania, somebody made the announcement and then the guy walked right over her after she made the announcement. I can't remember what it was right now of him, but it feels that way. And so to me, it took the shine off the announcement to put a male tag team over, and that bothered me a lot. And Heyman was great.
That's funny. When you said the placement, that's not what I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about when we talked beforehand, because we did briefly discuss, like I said.
Yeah, we did.
I thought you were going to say you didn't like Otis doing this after the backstage thing with Alexa.
No,
I thought that was.
No.
I thought
I don't get the vibe that he was like attracted to her.
I saw some people saying that because he yelled the pretty lady thing at the end.
Yeah, but he's also looking up at the sky.
He's also obsessed with Mandy and everyone loves it.
Right.
Okay, I'm glad that wasn't your reasoning for the Otis thing. No. I understand your point there, but I also think that I also think that sorry, I got an interesting message there, and it sidetracked me. I'll have to post that ASAP.
Hogan is in the Universal Championship.
No. Otis, sorry. Yes. Yes, the placement was weird, but to be honest with you, the initial announcement was weird too. I mean, it was Santa Vince. They haven't really treated these titles with the most care. The announcement, just the initial announcement was kind of weird that Vince did it in a jokey tone as Santa Claus in a pre-taped thing on an episode that barely anybody was watching.
Yeah.
Then they wedge it into this other segment filled with hype for the Universal title and the debut of an NXT talent.
Right. Why wasn't it in the center of the ring like they did when they changed the title over?
Yeah.
And took it away from being a Divas title instead of WWE Women's title?
Or showing
a big thing.
Or showing like a package on like how it used to be a title in WWE and now they're bringing it back. Something like that.
Why isn't Stephanie doing the presentation? It was weird.
A lot of people say that Stephanie shouldn't be doing all the presentations.
Look, I agree, but if you're going to... Consistency is my thing.
Agreed. Yeah. But the Otis thing, the thing that bothered me so much of the internet reaction to Otis, everyone's going like, I saw a lot of people saying, oh, they're just making Heavy Machinery and Otis a comedy act. And I go, did you watch NXT?
Yeah.
They were always a comedy act. Otis.
And you watch their videos where they're eating the meat and doing whatever they're doing.
You watch anything that Heavy Machinery has ever done, they've been a comedy act. He does the worm. He says things that you don't understand, words that you don't understand, like Asa.
Yeah.
He says, he does the weirdest things. He has never once been a serious character. He has always been a comedy character.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why everyone on Twitter loves when he obsesses over Mandy, thinks it's the funniest thing that he's obsessed with Mandy, but then he teases that he might be obsessed with Alexa now, so they can do the same thing on television. Because Mandy's preoccupied, and this gives something Alexa and Otis something to do. At least that's how I'm imagining. Maybe is that fun obsession with Mandy is now going to be turned into Alexa because both need something. Alexa needs something to do.
Right.
So I don't understand why everyone was so mad at her. I thought it was great. I thought it was the perfect way to introduce Otis because he's such a what the fuck kind of character.
Yeah, but I don't think it works on Raw nowadays doing this whole thing where he's like stalking Alexa. That's a 90s thing, man.
But why? What's the difference in the Mandy thing on Twitter that everyone loves?
Well, the Mandy thing was on NXT, wasn't it?
No, it was just on Twitter, and he always talks about how much he's obsessed with Mandy. He literally calls Mandy his girlfriend or his wife, and like
she's in on it, right? Like when Celeste.
So is Alexa.
Do you think she'd be okay? All right.
I'm just saying they're actors. I mean, it's not like.
Well, sometimes you have to understand about the bigger picture, right? And I don't want to seem like social justice, whatever they want to call me this week as SJW. Like
you want your snowflake,
snowflake or whatever. I'll break your neck. You call me a snowflake. This whole idea of like, well, you know, it's Alexa's okay with it. Otis is okay with it. We're cool. Yeah, but they're also under contract. They also want to keep their jobs. Vince is an influential guy. So is Triple H. You got to look at the bigger picture. What's this perception that you're giving out in the world that a dude like this can like stalk Alexa? Him doing it on social media with Mandy. If Mandy's responding back and forth, it's social media. It's a playground. If you're seeing physically this stuff happening on a show, you're showing these young kids who watch the show that it's okay to act this way or that it's all right to do this thing. And yeah, you can say this now as an adult going, oh no, they'll figure. No, kids see this stuff because they're not formed in their brains to process this shit.
And maybe I'm crazy here.
A woman like this,
and maybe I'm crazy beautiful. But that's also part of parenting. Like a parenting.
Oh, sure.
Sure. Parents need to teach their kids the things they see on TV aren't how people should act all the time.
Of course.
I grew up glued to the fucking television, and I don't think that Pepe Le Pew is the appropriate way for a man to act. I know he's a skunk or whatever, but you know what I mean? Like I don't think those things. Like I don't think that I should be like Zach Morris, even though I loved him and I thought Zach Morris was the coolest. Yeah. I know Zach Morris, as they say on the Funny Dry thing, is a piece of shit. Like, you know, and so
I'll take AC Slater myself.
Yeah, I mean, I was always more a Zach Morris guy myself because he Kelly Kapowski, whatever.
Oh,
but
I'll take Jesse. Yeah, good.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Get out of here!
In a heartbeat.
Over Kelly Kapowski?
No way.
Oh.
Are you crazy?
You're off the show.
Jesse's,
no, I'm just kidding.
Jesse's wild. Kelly Kapowski be like, okay, thanks. Jesse's a wild one.
Get out of here.
You're insane.
That. You just like her. She's a liberal snowflake.
You're going after the goody Mr. Goody Two Shoes.
But
who was in Showgirls and who wasn't? That's the end of the conversation.
Way down the line, though, and I will say that Kelly Kapowski is still beautiful.
They're both still beautiful.
They're both still beautiful.
But Kapowski
still.
definitely.
Kapowski's amazing.
Sure, she's beautiful.
I love Kelly Kapowski. Sorry, Eric.
We got 2 minutes.
Sorry, but I just feel like I just feel like there needs to be some kind of like filter of parents being like, hey, this is a TV character.
Fair enough.
Not every TV character is a thing that you should be emulating.
Agreed. All right, we got to wrap up. Finn Balor winning. You're happy about this?
Very happy Finn Balor won. As I said in the beginning, it's the most interesting possible title match for Royal Rumble.
I agree.
Do
you see him winning?
No way.
Okay.
But no, because like I said, I think Braun Strowman needs to defeat Brock at WrestleMania to kind of like finally put the cap in
Brock
it.
could do a rematch at Elimination Chamber and take the title back. That's possible.
I just think that you take away the WrestleMania moment of Braun dethroning Brock Lesnar, especially since they prolonged it after Roman Reigns got sick. So I loved it. I think Finn's the right guy. Question before we get out of here, because I know they're getting mad at you via Slack.
Yeah, they will.
Do you think it should be the Demon against Brock?
Yeah.
It should, right?
Hell yes.
Even if he's going to lose?
F yes.
Right?
Even if he's going to lose.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, because that's the level you got to go to. Not for Corbin.
And it's a baseball stadium.
Yep.
So, like, it's going to have that cool outside thing, and it's definitely going to go on as one of the second to last match, I would imagine. So, I feel like that'd be rad. That'd be really rad, I think.
Are you going?
No. Maybe. What? I don't know.
Did you get invited?
I mean, I could probably.
Where's it at again?
Phoenix? I don't like Arizona.
I will take your tickets.
Arizona's my least favorite place
I
in the
will go.
world.
You pay me, I'll go, man. I will report everything from the Rumble.
Well, maybe we'll make that happen.
One-on-one with Alexa Bliss. Alexa, tell me.
You're not allowed for that.
Come on! All right, everybody, thanks everybody for watching. This is another episode of Collider Body Slam Recap. We got to wrap up here. Tell everybody where they can find us, man.
ProWrestlingSheet.com is the website, at Wrestling Sheet on social media. YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can find all the videos that we make at Pro Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can see the videos. This video, the video that we are currently making of this recap, if you're listening to the podcast feed. If you're watching on video, hello, thank you. While you're there, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Please comment. I read all of them. I appreciate all of them. I try to like as many of them as possible on my own personal account as well. So please make sure you're chiming in on there. And if you're watching there as well and you want to maybe just listen while you're driving, sometimes check out the podcast feed. It's Podcast 1. Wrestling Sheet Radio. Check it out.
There you go. You can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And let me know what you think about everything that happened in Raw. And tomorrow we'll be back with another episode of Collider Body Slam SmackDown Live Recap. And we'll see what happens there. Take care.
ProWrestlingSheet.com